Located on Singapore's bustling, picturesque Joot Road, it's one of the 8 branches of Awfully Chocolate, a delicious success story built on sheer hard work and a whole lot of passion. Awfully Chocolate founder and self-confessed chocoholic Lyn Lee was actually a lawyer before she decided to give up her profession and start up a shop specializing in chocolate cakes back in 1998. In the beginning, almost everybody predicted that Awfully Chocolate was doomed to failure. But 13 years later, Lyn can boast a growing empire of shops in Singapore, Shanghai, Beijing, Hong Kong, Taipei, Jakarta, Guangzhou and Shenzhen. Not bad for somebody who had no prior experience as an entrepreneur and who started out in a little back street with just one type of chocolate cake on offer.
I still feel it's like my little baby, and it's a small company, and we have a long way to go to being bigger. But I think we're very pleased with the way things have been going. For the longest time, I really was just, I had popularity with this one chocolate cake, and so I didn't really want to change it or mess with it. And whenever people said, why don't you do cafes, why don't you do restaurants, why don't you sell other flavors of things, I always said, no, this is what Singaporeans like, this is what people have told me they like, and I don't want to mess with it. But only I think about a year or so ago, we started to branch out. We did a restaurant, we did a bakery, we did different flavors of desserts, and that's when I felt we really started to grow.
Staying true to her philosophy of only doing what you love, Awfully Chocolate only trades in a few selected items. Less it would appear at Awfully Chocolate is more, as exemplified by the shop's original creation, its delicious no-frills all-chocolate cake, looking exactly like the first cake that Lyn ever made.
I only sold it this way. I didn't sell it in slices and it doesn't have any fancy decorations on it or anything, because if you ask someone who loves chocolate, I want it to look and taste like this. I don't really want to. I really don't want it to have like colorful sprinkles and dolls, and the Super Stack chocolate cake is version 2.0, where it's based on the popular all-chocolate Awfully Chocolate cake, which everyone associates Awfully Chocolate with. But it is 6 layers of cake and fudge, and it's got more chocolate melted into the fudge, and that's why it's a richer, denser, heavier version of the original chocolate cake. Actually, it's like a kueh lapis of chocolate cakes, because we bake it layer by layer by layer. This I'm also very proud of, because it's an absolutely original creation. You see the swirls of light fresh cream over a very dark chocolate base. Now that base, we call it a cold poached chocolate. It's like a cross between chocolate ice cream and chocolate truffle. It starts out as a liquid, and we set it slowly over a frozen marble slab. So it's cold and it's rich, and it's so rich and dense that we decided to serve it with different flavors of cream, like peppermint, Horlicks, Kahlua, because on its own, I think it's probably too rich and dense. So flavored with a light cream, it just kind of, the contrast is very refreshing.
The Joot branch of Awfully Chocolate stands out in that it is an eye-catching 3-in-1 open concept store with Lyn's other ventures, Juju, a cool kushiyaki joint serving scrumptious Japanese grilled dishes, and Mushi Bakes, a Japanese bakery also sharing its space.
I love this store. This is the only one in Singapore that shares a 3,500 square foot space, which is about 10 times bigger than the average Awfully Chocolate store, with our 2 new concepts. This one is a Japanese charcoal barbecue, and the other side is our first non-chocolate bakery. When I went to Japan, I was just bowled over by their breads. That's why we went into doing fresh baked breads. And I think that kushiyaki, which is Japanese satay over charcoals, really struck me as being one of those things how we're into like natural, handmade. You don't get any more natural and handmade than having fresh ingredients, the charcoal flames, and it's about your skill with the fire, and all the sauces are made by hand.
Yeah.
So although you go like, what does fries have to do with charcoal, which has to do with bread, that's actually been our common philosophy. You'll find that a lot of the stuff that we do is done by hand. It's handmade, and that's really important to me. This is also kind of home ground for us because the very first Awfully Chocolate was opened in the building just like, 40 meters from here. And in 13 years, because I'm a tenant, when the building got sold, we moved across the street, and then when that building got sold, we moved here. But we've always been, all our new concepts, whether it's Awfully Chocolate, everything with fries, Juju or Mushy Bakes, have always opened within this 30-40 meter radius.
Wow,
So
this is lucky road.
This is Lucky Road, and it's called Joot Road, which is why the restaurant is called Juju, to pay homage to the road that we're on and where we started all our businesses.